All right, welcome back to BYOB, Bring Your Own Book, the book club for busybodies. So you've heard a little bit about our favorite quotes from our books that we were bringing, as well as some of our questions that we have for each other. Now, this round is what we call the speed round. So in 1 minute, we're going to do a lot. So in 1 minute, we have to share, what books do we normally read? I think that's really important because these are just our opinions, our thoughts, and, our reading experience is unique. Oh, I timed myself. I didn't know that. and so that's one of the things. I guess I'm getting my timer ready. And then the other thing that we want to share is also the effect that it had on us. Since we know that our reading experience can be different from person to person, just share what you experienced. And last but not least, we're going to give our score of the book. So that's one of the reasons why I want us to share what we normally read. Because, sometimes you read different things just to kind of see what else is out there. So a little bit about, let's go with the 5 stars. We understand that this is the book that, yes, it is awesome. Like, we may even read it again. We've maybe even sat and read it in one sitting. It is something that we are recommending to everybody. We love this book, okay? And so I put on here, I will always cherish this book. It's on your shelf. You're not giving it away. Even though it's dog-eared, it's going to be there for you. Now, 4 is great. You can't complain. You may not be telling everybody and their mama about it, but you are not, able to really pinpoint anything that, is wrong with the book or, just in general. Now, as far as 3, it's one of those good enough. I read it, not making or breaking me, but it's good enough. Okay, moving on with life. And then, of course, 2 would be more like so-so. You maybe wish you did something else with your time, but it's not necessarily the end of the world or anything like that. And then last but not least, a 1 would be not good at all. So hopefully nobody gets a 1. That would be awful, but hey, I'm open to whatever you guys think about your books that you brought in. All right, so are we ready to go? All right, so I'll go first. I want to set my timer for everybody. All right, so the one thing, what books do I normally read? Let me start there. I would normally read fiction. No, I don't read like fiction in general, but I read fiction, kind of dark fiction, thrillers, suspense thrillers. And I love nonfiction. I can read that pretty fast. Self-help books, anything that can make me better personally as well as professionally. And the effect that this particular book had on me, I would say it just made me question my day-to-day. And it made me also validate or confirm or even, just assess why I'm doing what I'm doing or not. And I think it was an overall pretty good effect. I might can look back at the book and the quotes were pretty inspirational. And last but not least, I gave it a 4. I didn't run out of time this time. All right. LaToya, I'm picking you next.
Okay, I'm ready. Okay, so I gave it a 4. And I only gave it a 4 because I'm not finished them yet. And so I'm just waiting for the ending so that I can give it a true review. So I gave it a 4 so far. And what books do I usually read? I can read just about anything. I love books. I love self-help, devotionals, nonfiction, fiction. I love history books, anything with nature. And was one more question.
And the effect it had on you?
And the effect that it has on me is taking me back to my childhood. So it's bringing out a lot of things from my childhood and things like that. So far, so good.
Awesome. With some seconds to spare. All right, next up, Brittany.
So typically I read self-help books, really anything that's going to help me personally, financially, whatever. But I have to say, being a part of this, you guys have really made me think about reading more fiction books, because I haven't read one of those in some years. So yeah, so going forward, I might have to put that on my to-do list. I feel like this book really was just a reminder. As long as you're following what God is telling you to do, you're going to be fine. You can take the risk. He's going to catch you. And I gave it a 5.
All right. Oh, I love those stars. Look at that.
I tried.
28 seconds to spare. All right, next up, how about Zerlene?
Okay, I normally read fiction and historical fiction, but I've started delving more into memoirs and into self-help. And I guess it's just the time of my life. One thing that I took away is to just be yourself. There is no one else that's going to be you on this earth, so it's best to be you and to live life to its fullest. And I give it a 5 stars. Draw, so you get a written one.
That's awesome. 24 seconds to spare. All right, next up we have Crystal.
I like historical fiction. I like memoir a lot. So I picked this book because it was a memoir. I had read the first one and I loved the first one. She just reminds me, and Zerlene said it too, to be true to myself. And whenever I was about halfway finished with this book, I was like in that 3 range. But now I'm about 2/3 of the way through, and the second part of it really picks up for me. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a 4.
Nice. All right, Kionna, what do you think?
Okay. I usually read realistic fiction, either contemporary or historical. The older I get, the more it seems to be historical. And this book in particular, Beloved, it's made me a little restless. Just in general, as a writer, it's impacting the way I write description myself. And I am giving Beloved a solid 4.
Oh, look at
Not for everyone, but it's definitely a great book.
Awesome. Do we see all of your beautiful, perfectly lined stars? I kind of saw it on the side. Awesome. All right, next up, we have Mechelle.
I am giving my book a 4, and the only reason I'm giving it a 4 is because I have not finished reading it. I normally have to read at work, but that's why I joined the club, is because I was like, you know what, I need to read more for myself. I do like self-help books because I feel like we're constantly growing, and I do want to improve, whether it's intellectually, spiritually, whatever. But most importantly, my takeaway from this book is that, wherever we are in life, we have to constantly stay connected, with our spiritual being and stay positive as people. And, that is contagious. So keep positive people around you to keep you basically focused and on your purpose and live your purpose, because your purpose can be different from someone else's.
So true. Awesome. And last but definitely not least, Vaslesa, what are your thoughts?
Oh, okay. Well, I gave my book a 5 stars, and no, they're not perfectly lined. My takeaway, and I know I'm not going in order, and forgive me, but my takeaway from this book was that it made me think about my spiritual practice and think about my unique talents and my purpose. And the type of books that I normally read are the self-help books. I'm all about improving myself and being more connected with God and just doing the right thing, so to speak. So other than that, that's all I have.
Awesome. 15 seconds to spare and all. All right. Did I miss anybody? Because my screen is kind of off to the side. I can't see everybody all at once. Well, this is my least favorite part of the meetup, because that means we're at the end now. So before we close, I want to, of course, thank you guys, the BYOB readers. It has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. And I also want to, of course, thank our proud sponsors, We definitely believe in promoting, literary works, literacy, as well as eateries. Yes, I can't wait for those times when we can get back into, these different environments. And then, of course, we also just support, just positive situations. And with that being said, we want to also thank our viewers at home. We appreciate you guys checking in. And to our online community, yes, this conversation does not, stop here. Definitely give us your thoughts on the books that we brought. What do you think? And also, what are you reading? So at the bottom of the screen here and in the little comment section, you can find a couple of different ways to stay connected with us on this Lit for Life journey. And so how you can continue to watch, all the links are below. You can subscribe, you can share, and also join on this Lit for Life journey. So it's been a pleasure being your host. I'm Micole, and see you next month for Bring Your Own Book. Until then, stay safe and read on.